like a baby emerging from the birth canal. We are editing that out. Hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Rambling Yarn. If you are a new viewer, so glad that you stumbled on this little niche of a corner on YouTube. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm glad to have you here. I am Emily, and this is my new little knitting corner. I'm really excited about it. Not a new location, but a new little designated corner. I'm so thankful for this. Over the past few weeks, we're still settling into our new home here in Maine, which is where I'm coming to you from today. And as always, it is a little difficult when you move around as often as we do to really settle in to a new place and make it feel like it's your home when you also know you're not going to be there for very long. And part of that settling in for me is making sure that I have a little nook, which I haven't really had a designated place for my crafting in a while. So this feels really good to have. My husband went out and he bought some pegboards, some metal pegboards. They only had 3 in stock, so we got to look for a 4th one. So right now I just have this blank space here. And he built me a desk that just is sitting right on the wall in this weird little corner that this room has. It's got this weird, it looks like maybe behind this corner there should be a vent or something. But it's also like it's right up against our staircase in the middle of our, I don't know. I'm not an architect. I don't know what's going on in here. I know this house has been remodeled multiple times, very oddly. I'm just gonna say it. You can tell that a woman had nothing to do with the remodeling that went into this house. Anyways, he put a lovely desk right up on the wall for me. So I've got this here, and up above I've got a couple of shelves which I'm keeping, you know, some sock yarn and plants and patterns and a cactus that I hope lives. I'm really bad with succulents, which is really ridiculous because those are the things that you're supposed to give to people who can't take care of plants. So this has been my new little knitting nook, and I've been just so very content when I get to escape here. So that's new for me. I don't have a whole lot because last year I pretty much was very dedicated to the whole box of socks shenanigans. I did not make it to 12 pairs. I made it to like 10 and a half or 11. I am contemplating doing just a whole video of just the socks because I had actually started recording something and just using them all as like finished objects to talk about what I had done in 2020, and it went on too long to even be just like a small segment. So maybe we will give them their own video. If you want a tour of my 2020 socks, comment below. But my last finished object was a pair of socks that I made for my sister-in-law. I used the Blueberry Waffle socks by, I think it's Sandy Turner, which I believe is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's one of those basic sock patterns that everyone when you start knitting socks, they do it. Why I decided to wait until my last pair of socks, I don't know. But I did. I used Chroma from Knit Picks, which is actually, from the photos online when I bought it, it did not look like what it was. When I opened the box, I found the Chroma to actually be similar to a singles base. It was a blend of wool and nylon. So I held on to that in hopes that because it was blended with nylon, it would work well for socks. I did enjoy knitting with it. It was a little weird, but I did enjoy knitting with it, and we'll see how those hold up. Those socks, I do have, she sent me a picture of them. I don't have them with me because they were Christmas presents. So I'll insert a picture. And yeah, I made her a pair with that yarn, and then I also made my mother a pair with that yarn, which I think I have shown previously. And they were given with the caveat of, I have extra yarn if they need to be darned. If something happens, I have it. Just give it to me. I will fix it to the best of my ability. So I don't have that finished object. I do, however, have the One Skein Wonder cowl that I actually started crocheting. Whew, let's see, was it, I think it was in March of last year. My lovely fiberiest of fiber friends, really she's one of my best friends, Bella of Bella's Custom Crochets. She released early last year a really beautiful pattern for a cowl, with the intent being that if you buy yarn, especially if you really love indie dyed yarn, and you just snag a random skein of DK or fingering weight from updates, because if you shop yarn updates, you know that they go really fast. Things go fast. Sometimes you don't get the quantity that you're hoping for. You may not know what colorways are going to be in the updates, and so sometimes you end up with just a skein, just one skein hank of a colorway that you really wanted because it's beautiful, but you may not have plans for. Enter the One Skein Wonder cowl pattern, which I will show now. Oh, like a baby emerging from the birth canal. We are editing that out. Oh, good gracious. So, it's glorious. I love it. I had finished this months ago. There is wool in my mouth. I finished this months ago. I did not sew in my ends. I did not block it because, why didn't I? Oh yeah, because we had a really large across state lines move and it was summer. That's reasonable. So here it is. I used, and I'll take some pictures so that it's not just all crumpled up on my neck here, but I used Fiber for the People yarn. Surprise, surprise. The colorway is Angel Rust. This was one of those surprise hanks that I bought because I love the color and I had no plans for. It is DK weight. It's on BFL and it was perfect for this. So now it's blocked. I recently bought blocking pins, which are a game changer. Confession time. I'm really bad at blocking things. I'm not bad at blocking. I just don't block. For the most part, things that I have made that could or should be blocked have been socks, which I honestly couldn't care less if my socks are blocked. The way I knit my socks, they fit perfectly for my feet and I don't feel like I need to stretch them or anything. with the exception of the one pair that I knit that had lace work, because I wanted that to actually be, you know, pulled out and, you know, so you could see it, even though it's probably going to be hiding in my pant legs. So, but this, because it is made of a actual natural fiber, because you really can't block acrylic. There's really nothing you can do about that. And made of a beautiful hand-dyed yarn, I felt like it deserved the treatment. So I finally sewed in my ends, and I blocked this whole thing because, you know, that was so hard. And having blocking pins made a world of difference. Did I use a cardboard box to do it? Yes. But only because the foam mats that I do have for blocking are in my attic, and I am weak and I cannot pull the attic stairs down by myself. I need my husband, and he wasn't home. So we used a Chewy box. Anyway, so this is it. It's wonderful. I really do love it. I need to charge my monitor because now I can't see anything. So I love it. So if you are one of those people who likes to shop updates, or you just have this really luscious, can I speak words, guys? A luscious hank, skein, ball, whatever you want to call it, of yarn that you don't know what to do with. It doesn't really go with anything that you have in mind, but you really love it and you want to make it into something. Consider the One Skein Wonder by Bella's Custom Crochets. She's on Ravelry. You can find it. I think she's got a couple other things. You can find her on Instagram under Bella's Custom Crochets, but would highly recommend this pattern. Very meditative. The stitch is very fun, works up really fast. It's great. So yeah, did I gush enough? No. So here's the yarn. It's beautiful. There's Angel Rust, guys. I honestly would love to do a whole sweater out of this yarn, just because the colors are just, they're beautiful. They're just so beautiful. So yes, the One Skein Wonder Cowl by Bella's Custom Crochets, ladies and gentlemen. Wanna come up? Come here. My co-host today is my cat Mary. His brother Pippin is sleeping on the bed. If you don't know, Mary and Pippin are the infamous duo in the Lord of the Rings trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien. Hey. When I am doing anything yarn related, really anything, honestly, it doesn't have to be yarn related, these two are very close at hand. If there is a lap, it must be sat in. So here we are. Who knows how long he will be here. So that was my one and only finished object that I have to show you. Moving on to half finished objects. Because of all of the moving around that we now do, where we are now, or where we have more recently moved to, is very cold. We, my husband and I, are New Englanders born and raised. I find it a little bit funny because my whole life I was absolutely convinced that there was no possible way that, even though I was born into a family that has lived in a cold region, my mother is from Pennsylvania, like northwestern Pennsylvania, like up towards Canada and Lake Erie, And my father has never really left Connecticut apart from going on trips. I figured, like, how crazy is it that I hate this place. I hate the cold. I hate this town. My emo is coming through, my pop punk. Like, I couldn't stand, I just couldn't stand it. Fast forward, got married, lived in North Carolina for 3 years, was absolutely lovely, loved it. No snow. Lived in New Jersey for 2 years, almost no snow. Back to Maine, which is very New England, although given where our house is, right up against the water, not enough snow. Never thought I would say that. So now we do actually live somewhere after these 5 years of not being anywhere near New England. We live somewhere where it is cold, it's very cold, it's very windy, and depending on what part of the state you live in, there's a lot of snow. So we have a rather large lack in our wardrobe of warm, snowy things because we haven't needed them for the past 5 years. So I started knitting my husband a pair of mittens. This is the half-finished object section. Started knitting my husband a pair of mittens out of the leftover sock yarn from my mother's pair of socks. I am embarrassed to say this really took me all of 4 days or so to get through. And then Christmas happened, and I haven't knit the other mitten. I just need to actually cast it on, and it will be done like that. But my half-finished object, guys. So this is 2 strands of chroma held together. The gray that's coming throughout, so it's all marled. I don't have a pattern. One of the things that I used to knit a lot when I was in my early 20s and late teens were fingerless gloves and mittens, because I was not terribly adventurous and they were fast. So I didn't use a pattern. I based my stitch count off of like the smallest pair of, I guess not the smallest, but like a small adult sock. So I believe that this, and I will have to count before I cast on the second pair, 48 stitches, I think. So I did, it's a 2 by, is it a 2 by 2? It's a 2 by 2 ribbing. And so I did that for, I think, 2 inches. And then I broke off to the thumb and just increased. I will say, because I'm not following a pattern, for whatever reason at the time, I increased and then I knit a stitch and then I increased on the other side, which left me with an odd number of stitches when I went to pick up the body of the mitten after that. Will not be doing that again for my second pair of mittens. But I had a tonal gray, which goes from this light gray that you see here to this dark gray. And then the tonal or color blocked, self-color blocking blues, which travels up through the yarn to this kind of lightish pearlized gray. So it's 2 strands held together, fits him well, and I'm really sorry, babe. I will make you the other one. I'm sorry, I do not have a pattern for this, but I do believe that Tin Can Knits has a really lovely basic mitten pattern. If mittens are one of those things that you would like to try, especially since it's not particularly warm outside, depending on where you are in the country right now, or any country, since in the United States and in New England, it is winter. So look at Tin Can Knits. I'm pretty sure they have a basic mitten pattern I have some yarn up here that I want to do a color work pattern with. I haven't found a pattern yet. I did see on Christy Glass's knitting channel or YouTube channel podcast, maybe around Christmas, I think she showed this beautiful pattern for mittens that actually had like a moth and a moon, I think. I don't remember completely, but it was something like that, and it looked very cool. So I think at some point in the next couple of months, maybe when I need a little bit of a break from one of the projects that I'm going to show you, I might try my hand at that. If I can do lace work on socks, and if I can make color work sweaters, I feel like a color work mitten probably won't be that hard. Anyways, somebody tell me in the comments that I need to cast on the second mitten, because I've gotten distracted. Somebody hold me accountable. On another note of accountability, this is the sock that I am finishing this up for my sister. This was supposed to be in my little box of socks. This is the Simple Skip sock by Adrienne. I believe the yarn base is Hawthorne by Knit Picks. I know I've shown this before, but it's still on my needles. Because, have I mentioned that I'm not a monogamous knitter? Because I'm not. And sometimes that is a problem. Sometimes it's really great, but sometimes it's really not. So I am almost done with the gusset decrease. And once that's done, it's smooth sailing until I have to go back and redo the first sock that I made on the wrong set of needles. But for anyone who is looking for a sock pattern, it's a ribbed sock with a little bit of a, I don't know if you can really see. It's easier to see in person, but no, you can kind of see. So in the ribbing, there's a little bit of a twist. It almost looks like a cable. It's very simple to do. I believe this pattern is free on Ravelry. So if you are looking for a ribbed sock pattern with a little bit of a detail, this is really good. Very simple. It is a fast knit. I've just put it down long enough that I'm having trouble getting back into it because I've gotten distracted. Also, can we talk about this, guys? So this was a couple episodes back, I talked about this yarn cake, and for whatever reason, it's this specific yarn cake that my cats would find every single day, no matter where I hid this thing, and I would wake up every morning and find the cake itself in my upstairs hallway, trailing all the way down my stairs through my living room, and it has become a disaster. I am very slowly knitting my way through this, but I don't even remember if I was pulling from the outside or from the inside. And at this point, I just don't want to do it anymore. I kind of feel like it might be worth the time to completely somehow unravel this, or maybe twist it around my my Swift, which is up there. I don't know why I'm looking this way. It's up there. My Swift. Maybe just, and then recake it or something. It needs help. I should make, you know what? Nitty Natty. Is it Nicole? Natalie. Nitty Natty. On one of her I think it was one of her Vlogmas episodes. She talked about how she actually designed like a little, I can't remember what she called it, but it's like a cozy or a sleeve, but it's a tiny little sleeve that you make, and it actually wraps around the cakes of yarn. I guess it's primarily, it would be more for if you are someone who pulls from the center of a cake, so that it keeps it squished together so that the shape of it stays intact without it kind of falling apart as, you know, all the mass is being taken out of the middle. That may be something. But yes, Simple Skip Sock by Adrienne Cool. Don't let your yarn cakes look like this. This is a mess. Okay, so now the biggest work in project that I have. If you have seen the first episode of this podcast, you will maybe remember I had kind of started to cast on a sweater. I didn't have plans for it. I didn't really know where it was going. I was using multiple yarns. All I knew was that I wanted to do a sweater that had a yoke. And I had a beautiful sweater quantities worth of hand-dyed yarn from Taylor Earl, who runs Fiber for the People, that I had ordered back in, I think it was 2019, October of 2019. And I've been dying to use it, but I have yet to find a pattern for it. So at that point in time, I was like so fed up and just itching to use the yarn that I don't know what I did, but I attempted to just kind of start knitting the yoke of a sweater with this gorgeous yarn, accented by a couple of different yarns in varying purples. So fast forward to sometime in the early fall of this past year. And Morgan of Morthunder, she released or hinted at releasing a pattern for what is now the Petrichor sweater. I laid eyes on it and it was love at first sight. And I knew whenever this was going to be released, I needed it immediately because it is exactly what this yarn was waiting for. So I believe it was early December. She released the pattern, bought it that day. And very soon after, cast it on. And I'm so excited, guys. Like, it's making me so happy. So here it is. I'm keeping this in my ink project bag, which has the lovely little peekaboo pocket. So I've got, in all reality, I've been working on this for a couple of weeks, but in kind of random stretches of time. So I just today sectioned off the sleeves from the torso. So the yoke is all finished. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. I'm just so happy to finally be using this yarn. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Okay. So here it is. So this is the Petrichor sweater by Morgan of Morthunder. You can find her on Instagram and Ravelry. And I just adore it. I mean, I love everything that she does, but so, the yarn that I bought, the sweater quantities worth of yarn, was the colorway Carnival Barker on a BFL base, BFL being Blueface Leicester. which is this variegated color that runs throughout. The color, really the pattern calls for 2 different colors. I am actually using 3. I'm using 2 colors for the contrasting color. As you can see, I did the yoke and I used my carnival barker for the main color, and then for all of this color work I used this dark purple, this beautiful dark purple, which is the color Take Me Home, dyed by Laine and Lotus, which is owned by Jennifer Sylvester. Jen is actually, she is a Connecticut dyer, so for me it's very special because it's a local to my home state. Anything that has to do with Connecticut for me feels local. It's very special in my heart. So the purple that I am using, actually I believe it was gifted to me for a birthday at some point by Bella. So I've also been hanging on to that, just waiting for the perfect pattern to put it into. So all of that color work up here on the yoke. So the purple is all in there. These little polka dots that you see throughout, I am actually using another Fiber for the People colorway, also in the Blue Face Leicester base. And for that, I am using this gorgeous orange. It's called Burnt. So it's a tonal orange with some darker speckles that are borderline, it's like a burnt orange and borderline purple. With this is the first skein of the carnival barker that I am still on. So 2 of them together. Little baby cake. They definitely share a branch in the color family tree. And you can, if you're looking for them, you can see the polka dots, the little polka dots. The very top of the yoke has a couple of rows with the dots, the orange dotted, the burnt dotted into the carnival barker. So the rest of the body will have that, and I'm thinking that when the body and the sleeves are done, they may stand out more, but if not, it's okay with me because it's like a soft dotted, they're very complimentary, and I don't mind that. I can see it, but I'm also looking for it. But I do think that as I get through the body of the sweater, it will all kind of tie itself together. But it gives a soft contrast, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I'm just really happy that I finally have gotten to break this beautiful quantity of yarn out, because it's just gorgeous. And I'm just really happy with it. Also, my corks are making a reappearance. If you have seen other episodes, you will remember that I don't actually have like the little needle stoppers. I've just been going through our junk drawers and using corks, which work just as fine. There's a tip for you. A knitting hack. If you don't want to pay for little stoppers to put on your needles, just use corks. Recycling, right? So I'm really excited about that. Sorry, basking in. So yeah, definitely check out Fiber for the People. Her colorways are amazing. Check out Morgan of Morthunder. Her designs just bring joy. If you're gonna try something new, just go for it. You can't learn without trying. So Christmas happened not that long ago. That was a pen. I didn't get a whole lot that was yarn or fiber related, and that's okay because Lord knows I have quite enough on my own. But I did get a couple of things, so let me show you. I guess we're going to call this the Acquisitions Christmas Edition segment. So for Christmas, it's hard for my family to get a lot of stuff for me as far as yarn goes because they know I'm not a yarn snob. But when you know somebody who does a lot of things with yarn and can be very specific with yarn, and you don't know anything about yarn, it's like a translation barrier. Is that the word I'm looking for? Not translation. Language barrier. So I did get, there was one, I don't think I have it in here, but I did get one skein of yarn. I believe it's Patons. It's not Croy, but it's a mohair wool blend, and I think it's lace weight. So I'm a little intimidated by that. Maybe we will attempt we will attempt to make a hat or maybe socks. We'll see. I'm taking a little bit of a break from socks right now, except for that one. On the other hand, sometimes you also have friends who are also really into what you're into. So, Bella bought me this absolutely beautiful gift. So this is from a dyer called Dragonfly. She is also a Connecticut local, and I believe she's actually local to the town that I grew up in. She hand dyes, and sometimes I think actually her yarn is hand spun. So double whammy. Hand dyed, hand spun. It's really amazing. It's really cool. You can find her on Instagram. I don't know how active she is on there, but she is on. So you can find her on Instagram. You can find her on Etsy. She has her own website, rimdragonfly.com. And she has a lot of really cool stuff on there. This is a magnet. That's magnetic. That makes me really happy for some reason. So Bella found me a couple skeins of this. The weight of it is not written on the tag, but judging by the feel, I think it's DK. It's too heavy to be worsted. So I'm guessing that this is like a DK sport weight yarn, but it is just the most beautiful of purples and peaches and periwinkles. And it's a single ply, which I don't work with a lot because I just, for some reason, like, I love single ply, but I never buy it for myself because it feels like an indulgence, and I'm like weirdly intimidated. I don't know why I'm intimidated. I really don't know why. So I don't know, but I have that now. It's beautiful. So I got a couple of these. Oh, I'm just so excited. So it's hand dyed, I believe, by her. And then she also got me this, oh my gosh, look at this purple. This skein of mohair. I have never in my life knit with mohair. And over the summer during our move, Bella and I were able to do a podcast together in which she talked a little bit about a skein of mohair that I think that she had gotten maybe, I don't know, through some update. And I mentioned that I've never worked with mohair. I would love to work with mohair, but I never had. Also something I'm a little intimidated by because I feel like it's one of those things where because of the nature of the fiber, once you start making with it, it might be a little hard to frog your work because it's so thin, so it might catch. I don't know. So she got me. They complement each other so well, and I am so excited. This single ply is roughly 220 yards. I've lost the tag for the mohair somewhere in a bag. But it's probably what an average skein of mohair would be. It's 400-500, somewhere in there. If you have suggestions on patterns to use, combining the two, be it hat, cowl, I guess nothing much bigger than that because I have one more skein of this, so that's what I have, but I don't know where to start. So if you have suggestions, something that you have made or are wanting to make, please suggest it in the comments. I would love that, and I will keep you updated on what these beautiful things are to become because I'm just so excited. I'm over the moon. They're gorgeous. I love them. Thank you, Bella. Along with that, she also gave me a couple of these lovely stickers from one of my also Connecticut local favorites, Block21 Prints. Woohoo! So I have always loved coffee. I know, I'm not original, but coffee, it just makes me happy. It's like a security drink. It's comforting. I love it. Whether I need a caffeine pick-me-up or not, the taste, I love the taste. Don't do sugar in my coffee, barely any cream. I just like the taste of coffee. So this was very fitting because she knows me. And then the bean boots. If you are looking for a pair of good winter boots, look at Hello Bean. We actually had a conversation over the time that she visited me over the fall. She's looking for a new pair of winter boots. I have had my pair of boots from LL Bean, my bean duck boots, for going on 9 years, and I love them, and they were an investment for sure, but oh my goodness, they've held up so well, and they are my favorite, and pretty much the only pair of shoes in general that I wear. I do not wear sneakers. I also don't own sneakers. That might be part of my problem. But the only pair of shoes that I wear during the late fall to early spring are my bean boots. They've kind of become the signature Emily shoes for the cold, wet, snowy, gross season. And I adore them. So these were perfect. You supposedly can stick these on like water bottles and things like that. I'm very hesitant to do that because I just don't want to ruin them, whether it's hand washed or in the dishwasher. They're just so beautiful. I don't want to ruin them. So where do you guys put your stickers? I want to know. Notebooks, water bottles, cars, I don't know. Tell me where you put your stickers. I want to know. Also, part of her gift was the Herringtonemarliday Cowl, which is designed by her. This is the original cowl that she designed and made in the beautiful Roy G. Biv colorway. Roy G. Biv being red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, violet. And I feel very honored to have this. It is made up of a yarn that is definitely more on the scratchy side. She has very sensitive skin. I do not. Therefore, this beautiful thing came to live with me because it will not make me break out in hives. And I am so thankful. I'm really sorry, Bella. But I'm also really thankful. So there's that. It's gorgeous. If another cowl pattern by Bella's Custom Crochets. If you need that, look it up. It's wonderful. This is, I think it's like two fingering weight yarns held double to make the marled look. She also has this pattern where it's just a single strand of worsted weight yarn if you don't want that marled look. So 2 different versions of the pattern, same cowl. Your neck will love you for it. So go look that up and search the hashtag Herringtonemarliday, because there are some really beautiful things coming out of this pattern, and it's wonderful to see. In keeping with Christmas gifts and loving my Connecticut locals, my mother went with my sister to this really cute little, it's like a little pottery cafe where they have the pottery items there and you get to paint them and glaze them, and then the shop itself will put them in their kiln and then you get to take them home. So my mom made me this really adorable little gnome jewelry plate from, I believe it's called the Firestone. If you are in Manchester, Connecticut, you can find this on Main Street. Look at those little speckles, little speckle glaze, and his little nose. So that was really sweet. And on top of that, a little Connecticut ornament, a little clay ornament. Because I really do miss my home state. In other news, I won a giveaway. It's also funny because it was Bella's giveaway. So she's had multiple giveaways over the past few months, I think. I have always kind of looked from afar because I've always felt a little weird about entering a giveaway done by somebody that I know and love. So at one point I commented on one of the pictures that she had of her little curated collection of giveaway items because the bag was really cute. So I was wondering, where could I get that? Because I just felt really awkward entering the giveaway. I don't know why, it felt weird. So her response was, well, you can get it here, or you could enter the giveaway. Well, if you're comfortable with that, okay, I guess I will. So I did. I answered the prompt. I commented. And then I went about the rest of my evening, only to be texted a few hours later with a screenshot of her random comment picker picking my comment. Okay, so we went back and forth a little bit with the, are you comfortable with this? Well, are you comfortable with this? And really it came down to, as long as it was fair and square, I was comfortable with this. With the caveat of Bella saying, this is the only time you win anything. And that's totally fine with me, because it still feels a little weird. So in her giveaway, she had this lovely little pouch. I guess you could say it's like a pencil pouch or a notions pouch. I do not have a card for the maker, so I will have to look that up and I will insert it here. But it's adorable. on the card. She said, "Enjoy, fair and square." It's got a lovely, it's lined with a really cute polka dot. Oh wait, there's a tag in here. It says, "Within Creative." Let's see, does she have a Instagram at Within Creative? Don't focus on my face. So you can look her up on Instagram. And in the pouch came a few stickers. So here we have more Block21 Prints. They're all holographic, which is really lovely. Be a Nice Human. She actually makes, she being Sarah May, the owner of Block21 Prints, she makes stickers and different clothing items. She hand cuts. I can never pronounce it because my brain wants to say linoleum. It's not linoleum. Never mind. But she hand cuts these. It's like rubber. So she carves out her prints, her stencils, and then with her designs that she's carved out, she prints them on t-shirts and sweatshirts and I think bags, and who knows, she's a creative genius. And every once in a while she will actually post. You want to come up? The other halfling is trying to get on my lap. Every once in a while on her Instagram, she posts videos of her carving process, which I just find absolutely fascinating. And I could watch her carve those things for hours. It is... Yes? It's beautiful. Hi. It's beautiful and it's just really cool. And I would love to do it because it just looks really satisfying. So there's that one. There is You Can't Quarantine Creativity, which I believe this one actually came from the Firestone. So this is the place where my mother, I'm pretty sure it's the same place, where my mother did the cute little gnome jewelry dish in Manchester, Connecticut. And it's true, even though we are all self-quarantining, isolating in place. Hi there. This is Pippin. This is the other halfling. We're all staying home to the best of our ability to keep everybody safe. You can't quarantine creativity. And as a maker, and you're just so cute, and an introvert at heart, it has been hard to separate myself, especially moving to a new place, not really being able to connect with other people, because that's hard when you move, especially across state lines to somewhere you've never really been before. You need to build up your community, and it's been really hard because I haven't been able to do that. And I am an introvert, and that's one of the main reasons why I do a lot of the crafting that I do, because it's something I can do by myself, and it's something that I just really enjoy doing by myself, but it's nice to be able to share that with other people. So I guess this is my way of doing that. So you can't quarantine creativity. And then finally, this is not a local Connecticut person. This is, I will double check, but off the top of my head, I believe that this is from Treasure Goddess, who you can find on Instagram. Love with yarn. I am building up my sticker collection with all of these wonderful things. Where do you put your stickers? Again, please tell me in the comments, where do you put your stickers? I have a laptop. It's kind of old and on its way out, so I'm not planning on putting it on that because that would kind of be a waste. I could put them on journals or my car or water bottles, but those all seem kind of weird or like they aren't good for the stickers. I don't know. If you have stickers, where do you prominently display them? I would love to know. So that, oh, and Kitty, are you hiding the bag? Where did it go? Are you sitting on it? Hold on. No, you can sit here. I've lost my bag. No, you can. What the heck? Okay, oh, there it is. Whew, crisis averted. I thought he was sitting on it. He's large. Sorry, I'm sorry. So the last thing in this was a set of 3. I'm currently using one on a project, but these progress keepers that are handmade by Bella. For a while she was selling these. I think she does a little bit now, maybe. But the beads are actually, it's paper. They're rolled shellacked paper made by, I think, another... There we go. By another local Connecticut artist, whose name I don't actually know. I will have to find from Bella, and I will put it on the screen. But she makes these beautiful beads out of rolled paper, so they're all individual, and they're colorful and they're beautiful, and I just love them. So, and she's got the detachable clips. So if you are a crocheter, they're very crochet friendly because you can move them along as you're going. And also if you're a knitter and you just need to clip something on to count your rows, those are great too. And I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about using these for earrings because they're really cute. Are you just basking in the limelight? Hi. So I think, oh, I have one more thing. So I have actually been good for me about not splurging on yarn lately because I have a lot and I don't have enough projects to put them in, but I'm a yarnaholic and my name is Emily. So a few updates ago, Fiber for the People had this lovely colorway in her shop. This is called Titanium, and this is on her merino nylon 2-ply. It is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. Look at all those colors. They're beautiful. So I snagged, I don't know why, it was very impulsive, which is very unlike me. I snagged 3 skeins of this fingering weight yarn. There was one sweater that I found. It's a free pattern. I will mention it. The name is French, so I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it. It's like Musso or something. I will put it on the screen and in the details. And that pattern is actually meant to be made with 2 strands of mohair held double, which I do not have, considering the only skein of mohair, hank of mohair I have is behind me. But I believe that 2 strands of mohair is relatively equivalent to fingering weight yarn. So I will have to do some research and a little bit of swatching, but I did find a really pretty sweater pattern. It's another yoke. It's very simple. It has a little bit of a balloony puff sleeve that I would probably make into quarter length. I am just dream knitting. I'm dream knitting here. So that is a potential. I keep saying I need to make an actual like knit shawl. I don't know if that will happen because I'm really on a sweater kick right now. I just want to make all of the sweaters. But I don't know, guys. Like, it's just really pretty. If you have any suggestions on things to make with, let's see, this is 100 grams. Rough, it's 400 yards. So 400 yards of skein. So like 1,200 yards. So if you have 1,200 yards of fingering weight yarn, what would you make? Tell me in the comments because I really do need ideas. So I have three of this. I really want to make a sweater. I don't know if I can, but I want to. So that wraps up my acquisitions. Just kidding. One last thing. This actually, I meant to show this in my last podcast where I talked about birthday things, but I thought that this was really cool and needed to be included anyways. So, raise your hand if you know what this is. My mother found this at an antique store, and when she gave it to me for my birthday, I was a little confused and a little weirded out because I actually didn't know what this was. This actually comes off. It was labeled as an antique sock darner or a darning block, which I find really cool. And I'm tickled pink that, well, I mean, she's my mom, but like she saw this, cats, she saw this, and she saw that it's a very specific thing for a knitter or fiber artist. She thought of me and she got it. I don't darn socks often, and I very rarely darn clothing, but it's just really cool. This antique wooden darning block, darning club. I don't know, but I thought that this is just one of those really cool things where whether or not I actually use it, and I did use it over Christmas. I fixed a hole in one of my mother-in-law's socks, which was they were definitely made by like some sort of sweatshop in China, because it was like 6 pairs of socks ordered on Amazon that were all color work, but they had a hole in them. Also probably made by a machine. But they had a hole. I fixed it and I used this. And I'm actually very proud of myself because when I was done, I actually didn't know where on earth I started and couldn't tell I did anything. So that's something. I just thought that that was really cool. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I think it was episode 5. At some point, I will be getting my husband on here to do a quick little hello so you can meet him as well. I hope that you guys all enjoyed your holidays over this past December and that you have something cozy to knit as we make our way through the rest of the winter. Stay safe, stay warm, happy knitting. Bye guys.